Cap first half by your Green Bay Packers. Not the showing we were expecting after all of the praise and credit we were giving LaFleur in the pregame about his play calling. We will definitely peel back some layers of that onion here in the postgame recap. But David promised the fans, hey, regardless of win or losses we both predicted, that we would be coming on here postgame, even as a dark nightcap mode of an episode. We're here for you. And Dave, I don't know if you've got a bourbon in front of you, but let's go ahead and open this tab of an unfortunate L.
Who, baby? Nothing on offense. Early hope on defense that quickly faded away. Yeah, man, that's a tough pill to swallow. I've never been in a stadium where the Packers have been boat raced before. That was a new experience for me. I think starting off this podcast, we should definitely dive into the dynamic of the stadium. It was a lot of blue, a lot of white that were not white in terms of Green Bay away jerseys. There was a point in this game that you yourself, fans were getting rowdy, and you were trying to quiet them down until I made that observation that they're getting rowdy because they're not Packer fans. There's Lions fans chanting inside Lambeau. But before we kind of go through all that, I don't really know what was up with the offensive scheme. You brought it to my attention that LaFleur must have saw something on tape. It was a lot of spread. It was a lot of gun. It was a lot of pistol. Aaron Jones did not get the ball until the second quarter, maybe almost the end of the first quarter. It was not Packer football to me.
Yeah, for those, we got one viewer here on us. We were at the game. Yes, we were. And this was unfamiliar territory for myself. Dave, that's the first time you've seen a boat race. My second time, I saw a boat race in 2019. NFC Championship game in San Francisco. That was over about as soon as the game started. And this is probably my 17th, 18th game, somewhere around there at Lambeau. The third time we've lost. I told you, Brett Hundley game in 2017 against Ravens. I don't count that one. So this is unprecedented times for me as Packer fans. You can tell for a lot of them. We got the Boo Birds coming out at the end of the first half, and probably for good reason, for the way LaFleur conducted the offense. I almost thought that LaFleur, kind of like Brett Favre, as I was mentioning to you, that early on in Favre's playing days, Mike Holmgren had to sort of calm him down and say, Brett, no more rocket balls. And then Brett would respond with, hey, I'm sorry, coach, I'm all teed up. Well, I think Matt LaFleur knew that this is going to be his first night game coming in. So he was all amped up. He's like, I got a full arsenal of weapons outside of the offensive line. I've got Christian Watson. I've got Aaron Jones. We're going to open this thing up and spread it out like it's an Aaron Rodgers-led show. And I don't know whether it was a Seahawks game, what he saw on tape, but dude, he completely got away from what was working in those first three games and what led them to success and the misdirection and the under center. I don't know what the hell LaFleur was seeing to open up the script. I don't even know if the script ever started tonight.
That's a good point. I don't think we ever got on script because we picked the ball off your plus 20. I don't think you used the script at that point. I think you're looking to just put a dagger in their heart, and then you go 3-and-out and you kick the field goal. And then the second drive, you're just completely out of sync. I don't think we ever got on script. That's a good point. I don't know if he used any of his 20 plays that he originally put on the sheet. If you are seeing a weakness in your offensive line and you can't run the ball because of your offensive line, and you can't protect long enough because of your offensive line, you'd think you'd see some quick hitters in the passing game. Smoke screens, quick slants, quick outs. Seemed like LaFleur is like, well, we can't run the ball because our offensive line can't hold up. So we're going to do deep developing routes, which I don't think that works either in terms of not having a great offensive line today. I said pregame the key was our defensive line and our offensive line, which is a key in the trenches for a lot of games. But our defensive line created no pressure, and we couldn't stop the run. And our offensive line seemed like we had a turnstile in it, where it's like anyone who wants to come in, come in.
Aiden Hutchinson, he's a game wrecker. Well, and we let him do whatever the hell he wanted tonight. I don't know how many he finished with, at least 2 sacks, I want to say, but he was living in the backfield, and people are probably like, oh yeah, we got gashed in the run game again. We could do this or that. Like, dude, we didn't get a first down on offense until like we were starting to count. It's like, all right, how many minutes into the second quarter are we? We got a first down that was kind of because of a flag or something like that. Aaron Jones ended up with what? 5
carries.
Yeah, 5 carries. I mean, that's kind of par for the course. So it's not like we've never been there, Packer fans. But I mean, I was taken aback when we hear "Go Lions" on offense chant. I'm like, I'm used to a 75% Packer crowd, and they showed out in waves. And like, you got Royce Newman out there, and I know Rasheed Walker can fill in for David Bakhtiari, who's out probably inevitably, or maybe for good. It's like, if you got that side of your offensive line with Elton and Bach, like, what makes you think that you can be able to start spraying the ball all over the yard and get these big chunk plays when what's been working for you is, hey, get the short to intermediate game going and then find your deep shots. But I mean, I would love to hear what LaFleur has to say in the press conference here to explain going 3 and out on at least 4 straight drives. That's where we lost the game. And here we were in the second half. Me and Dave playing the mathematical probabilities of, all right, we get touchdown here, 2-point conversion, onside kick, like doing whatever we can to stay positive.
The funny thing is to start the third, the math was actually mathing. It was working out. Like, we were getting some stops, we were scoring, we were getting the 2 points. And I was like, there's some hope there. And then there's just some miscues, penalties, stuff that we saw in the first half that all of a sudden, once the game got tight, we fell back into those habits. This was a complete 3-phase disaster. There were times Keyshawn Nixon should have just kneeled it and took it at the 25. There was defense, same old defense of playing very soft coverage, or when you needed a stop, they couldn't get a stop.
Rasul getting picked on early.
And then the offense, like we've mentioned before here, just sluggish start. And then it's like when you need to get in gear, they kick into the gear. But you're going to run teams like this where the sluggish starts are going to get you down 17, get you down 20, get you down however many it was. And it's like you just can't climb out of it. The one guy who brought it, there was one play that everyone's going to pick on him for because it just so happened to be at a crucial moment. But the only guy that brought it that we noticed was Quay Walker flying around the ball. And then he makes the crucial mistake, like on that kick, the field goal that puts him back on first and goal. But he was the only one that brought any juice in the first half.
Yeah, I don't think there's any other player that matched him. Yeah, now that you brought it up, it's like the field position game in the first half. Like, Keyshawn Nixon started us out at the 20-yard line about every time.
Yeah.
We didn't get a first down. They get it at like their 40-yard line, sort of a short field. And it's like, well, they're at least going to get 3, if not 7 for this drive. And then we finally were able to get a drive going to open up the third quarter. But it's just like we played sort of with the tilted against us with not picking up any first downs. And yeah, Quay Walker, I mean, on defense is like Rasul. I don't know what he was thinking or how much lax they had him play, but he was targeted early. I thought JJ Ending-Barry had overall a decent game containing the run. And I mean, Rashawn Gary was still limited on a pitch count. But yeah, if there was anybody that got amped up knowing that Dave was coming to town for his first night game was Quay Walker, who is off to a killer start. And what I was going to say is that makes it now 4 straight weeks of us having a pretty atrocious first half on offense. And the slow start from preseason that you mentioned, like, hey, it takes Love a while to get things in rhythm. Well, it's carrying over now to the regular season. Against a good team like Detroit, they're going to make you pay the price.
Yeah. The same stuff I was saying in the pregame of having Watson back and having the defensive backs for the Lions, having to adjust to Watson and Dobbs being on the field and who's the one, who's the two in terms of shadowing. You role reverse that for the Green Bay Packers in terms of your talk about Douglas. Jai's out. You have Douglas covering a 1. I love Douglas to death, but I don't know necessarily if he's suited to cover a 1. He's a great perimeter cornerback, but it's a whole different ballgame when the quarterback's worrying about Jair Alexander on the other side. You shut down one side of the field, and then you have Douglas be able to play more aggressive. And I think Goff today was able to kind of pick on Douglas's aggressiveness. He jumped a couple of routes. The receiver got behind him, was able to pick up some stuff. Then Barry started playing soft, and Douglas wasn't kind of there to execute closing the gap soon enough. I can't really blame this on the defense because the defense early in the game put us in good position. It was just kind of like those typical stuff that you got to have at moments that we didn't show up for. And the offense going to 3 and out consistently, going right back on the field, I think really limited them being comfortable putting Gary on the field as much as they should have.
I would be curious to find out what the time of possession was in the first half. Like, I feel like we didn't see any offense. That we get a really nice drive going in the third quarter. We get our playmakers involved. Jaden Reed and Romeo Dobbs, Christian Watson, I want to say, finished it off with a touchdown. I mean, I don't know if we had more than 10 carries as a whole for the night. Like, we have a serious problem on our hand moving forward now with this offensive line, and Elton probably being out at least next week, I would think, too. And Bakhtiari's probably done. It's like this inside of the offensive line, if we're going to have any success. And this was like the first game that Love felt true pressure. Besides that, he's had a pretty damn clean pocket. And if not, like, he's known where to go with the football, or he's picked up first downs with his legs, but he felt pressure. And like any quarterback, it's going to get to you. And I know it's one loss, but I'm already calling for changes because I'm sorry. I loathe seeing Royce Newman, number 70, out there on the football field. Similar to like my Tyler Lancaster, Dean Lowry, maybe Big Dean, not as much, but Tyler Lancaster for sure. Like, I don't think those guys belong on an NFL football field. And I know that's really dogging them right now, but I think there's some other options out there for the interior offensive line.
Yeah, Royce, I thought they were going to switch at halftime to Sean Ryan. That never came about. Job-wise, like, these guys' jobs are secure and stuff like that, but there is some serious question marks in terms of coaching. How they coach these players up, how they go about their looking at film of the team and where they want to attack them, how they make adjustments. The argument can be made that LaFleur is loyal to a fault in terms of his coordinators and his coaching staff. Doesn't want to throw anyone under the bus. It's all on him. Well, if it's all on you, you got to figure it out, man. Like, what is it? Are you not getting your guys amped up enough? Are you not preparing them enough? Is it your coaching that's kind of, you're not seeing what you think you're seeing in terms of tape? Because they, in terms of Barry, there's a point in the game where we felt that they should just be aggressive, right? Like, just, you have nothing to lose at this point. Just stack 7-8 guys in the box, attack the run game, play press, and just be like, well, if you're going to beat me, beat me. And it seemed that they're just super lax, super comfortable with like, okay, we're still going to just give you what you want. And then on the flip side, where LaFleur is his specialty, didn't dial up anything exotic. I'm going to run shotgun. I don't want to run the ball. Part of that, I'm sure, is Jones not being fully healthy and not trusting AJ Dillon, but we didn't see a carry until the third drive.
Really, I really want a statistician to go in and look at like what the success is in shotgun versus what the success is in under center play action fakes. Like, wouldn't you agree that the first successful drive that we had to open up the third quarter was a lot of under center, a lot of play action fakes? You got people getting open off of that. Like, I would love a statistician out there to be able to take a look at the numbers versus this Aaron Rodgers. Hey, I want to see a static image of the defense and spread them out, no motion, and expect our wide receivers and tight ends and running backs to win their one-on-ones and create separation on that. But it's like you got through 3 weeks. I just am really dumbfounded as far as what LaFleur saw on tape so far to put us in the position that we're in today. And like the defense still did get stops though.
Yeah,
I thought in the second half where it's like then we got it to when we were playing our equation of hey, all right, hey, it's a 2-score ball game here. And I still don't know what the flag was that Quay Walker had on that field goal. But like if we stop them there and we get a score, like that puts us in like what?
You're down 10.
Yeah, you're down 10. And I think, somewhat of a ball game there. But yeah, if I'm placing blame on this one, it's
everyone.
I don't know. I thought defense could have played well enough, but when you get behind 17-3 or whatever it was early on, like you're not digging yourself out of that big of a hole.
I mean, they also allowed 34 points to the defense, but yes. You mentioned earlier the big momentum thing was the Ford pick. I thought was we were going to carry us over, and then you brought up that you get a turnover, you want to get in the end zone as quickly as possible, you want to create a shot play. You're at the plus 20. It's not like you got to pick up. You got an interception at your own 30-yard line. It's like, all right, let's run play action here and chuck one deep and capitalize here. You could still like take your time. You could still try to hand the ball off to Aaron Jones, pick up 5 yards and like see where that carries you and stuff like that. It's like the offense immediately pressed. And then it's like, okay, you missed the throw on first down. And then second down, they're still trying to throw. Like, even second down, like, okay, you can still run it. Grab 4 yards, whatever it is, because it was just unnecessary play calling. It was overthinking everything. And then once you realized your offensive line was in complete shambles, they were still running the same stuff. Like, the offensive line got absolutely hosed today.
I don't think we ever got back on track after that. I always think like as a like taking it for the Lions perspective, if you hold them to 3 points, that's a win right there. And I mean, you'd expect, you get an interception inside of your end zone, and you should expect to get 7 points off of it. If not, the momentum's not on your side, and we never got back on track after that. It was like after that, then Goff settled in, like he seemed fine in the pocket, finding his wide receivers, and I just see it as far as LaFleur got too damn amped up tonight for a night game, and that he didn't get into like what's been helping Love get into a groove. And you finally have a young quarterback that has a pass rush in his face, and he starts to get a little bit frazzled as any quarterback would, and you don't set him up into nice favorable positions with Aaron Jones in the game and finding ways to get the ball in his hands. Right now it's just me wanting to watch LaFleur's press conference, which he probably doesn't have answers. He'll sort of punt it and be like, hey, I need to watch the tape and buy and sell some time. But to your point, you got to learn how to win. And this is another game that if you get behind, that sure we have the talent to do so, but there's only so much you can do to dig yourself out of a 17, 20 point deficit.
We've through 4 weeks, probably experienced every outcome already so far this year. We, shellacked the Bears week 1. You get out to a big lead in Atlanta and lose the lead. You get down big to the Saints, and then you come back and win. And then you get absolutely crushed this week. So we've been on pretty much every outcome already.
Maybe if we win the coin toss again, we elect to receive the ball. I don't know if that.
We don't start fast, so I don't know.
If that changed. We've had. I mean, this is 4 games now with slow starts. Like you got to do something differently. And I thought, hey,
we're on the 2 minute. Out of the gate.
Yeah, when you defer it in the last 2 games, like, all right, perfect. I always love it because I think you can lap them and you get like an extra possession out of it.
Yeah.
In the game, but hasn't worked towards our advantage so far. I'm trying to think what are some other positives to kind of hit upon today.
Anderson Carlson is still perfect for the year.
There we go. Packers on the Rocks fans. Anders is still perfect. We don't have to worry about Colin and Mason just yet. That he's settling in as a rookie. I thought Jaden Reed looked great.
Christian Watson found the end zone in his first game back.
He did, yes. And a nice catch over the middle of the field and one of the drives that got us going, which I think LaFleur expected that play all night long for why he was spreading them out, and he was expecting these sort of chunk plays to Christian Watson and others.
Had the perfect plan today. They just did.
Dubs had some good hands catches like he normally does. Not a whole lot out of Luke Musgrave tonight.
He's in the concussion protocol.
Oh, perfect. I know that when we had Devin Hine chat in, which I think he's still on with us, he said, hey, on the bright side, Josiah went off. Devin Hine, I think, has a Josiah DeGuara tattoo at this time, and he is Josiah DeGuara's biggest fan. He did have, I think, like 3 or 4 catches in the game, but yeah, Luke Musgrave went down, and you have Carrington Valentine also went down with injury as well.
I think I'm just going to go plus that we have 10 days to get as healthy as possible. And then you get the Raiders in town, which please just win. And then you get a bye week afterwards. So this is a young team. We're going to just continue to evaluate talent. Not a good look for Valentine. Valentine looks like he got benched. There was no injury there.
Because he was standing silent with his helmet off. What play did he get beat on?
He got replaced by Valentine.
So then you think so we go 3-0 and then they respond rapidly.
Yes.
And somebody blew a cover. If somebody's watching here and knows who blew that assignment, let us know. But Amon-Ra St. Brown went into the end zone. There was that touchdown that I'm like, all right, I'm not an NFL player, but I think I might have been able to make that catch. And there was like 2 rushing touchdowns that we saw from our seats that, I mean, shit, I think, Dave, you're even able to scamper.
Okay, so not me, because I tried the 40 at Titletown today, so definitely not me. But you for sure, there is a gaping hole there. Yeah, we should have realized what the outcome was going to be today when I ate it at the 40 today in Titletown. Just nosedived right into the turf.
And how many Lions fans are in the stadium? And I know I mentioned this to you a couple of times. This was me being kind of negative, but I think somebody in our row snuck an extra fan in there because I stood like all cockeyed for most of the game next to some behemoth of a human who looked like used to be like a Viking on a ship of a person. The person was colossal. And like I've never been so crammed or sardine packed in my seat at Lambeau. I'm like, somebody snuck an extra fan in our row because I was not having it.
All right, so I think we just got unlucky that there are just bigger than normal human beings in our row.
Dude, I thought they were from Game of Thrones. There was a couple of people from north of the wall, like dude. The person next to me was like from a wildling. They were gigantic, man. That's the widest set of shoulders I have ever seen on a human being.
So the part
I was like telling somebody, I'm like, scoot down. They're like, You should be in 12. I look back and I'm like, yeah, 12, my seat number 12 is mine. They're big, dude. Like, that's when you know it's not your day. Dave Biff said 40, and then here I have to stand like this Rob Lambeau. I'm like, I've been at this stadium enough to know that I should be able to at least like be straight on the field.
That is the two downsides to the bleacher seats at Lambeau are when it gets cold, your ass freezes, and then that is the seating arrangement of just being, thigh to thigh with someone instead of having the individual seats. I think we just got extremely unlucky with like having larger than normal human beings in our row.
Had to have been. It was counting against us. It's like, Dave, we're going to treat you with Watson and Jones coming back, but your 40's not going to go as planned. The game's not going to go as planned. And you are going to be as jam-packed into your row as possible.
On the plus side, like 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter, that thing burst wide open.
Yeah, and this is another, I mean, just like sort of the overall theme is one of the very rare times.
We had Jared Goff chants. We had Let's Go Lions. We had now Packers fans do get loud occasionally on offense for us, but it was not your typical crowd noise for offense. There was a distinct defensive cheer going on for the Lions defense when we were on offense. And then also crowd noise in terms of big plays early on for Packers was somewhat subdued in terms of, there's enough of a split there where the crowd noise, I don't think, got through the TV as well as it should have.
On third downs, on defense.
Third downs, defense, turnovers, that type of stuff. Yeah.
I mean, like we talk about talent evaluation, and I've got now, let's see if my math is right. Oh, we got 8 home games this year? I've got 6 more. I've got at least 5-6 more home games to go through, potentially what we witnessed tonight. And it's uncharted territories. I mean, it has to be for you, but like, it's just a sort of unsettling feeling watching another team take over your stadium at the end of the game when I'm so used to being on the positive side of it, having 75% of the fan base be green and gold and the boo birds coming out. I'm like, if it already looks this way, and we got enough talent, I don't think it'll go over too much, but it's something that I got to get used to, and it's tough to come to grips with so far. When I see that much blue and Jared Goff chants, I'm like, Dave, this isn't right. And I don't want to be that fan to be like, you're the Lions, you've never won a championship. It took you up until 2017, 2018 to beat us at Lambeau since Brett Favre came into tenure, but yeah, it's one thing, me as a fan in your 30s, that it's going to take some time for me to get used to.
I think this stadium could have been 100% Packer fans, and I think the doors would have still been blown off us on this game.
Yeah, that was not the deciding factor.
However, there was a lot of 97 denim blue and 16 denim blue in the stands today. We sat on the Lions side, and we were surrounded by Lions fans. I mean, it's not like a shock, but like there are plenty of games in the past where no matter what sideline you're on, you might see a light dusting of opponents. This was a hardcore takeover.
And you're 2-1. You got a shot, like still contending in the division. It's not like we're playing in December. Like, you got a new era, new quarterback at helm. Like, I wouldn't expect those gold package Milwaukee season ticket holders to be like, all right, yep, Rodgers is gone. Let's go ahead and ditch these things.
That might have killed us.
It's just not it's not a great sign this early on in the season for us. As nice of a start as we've had.
In terms of overall scheduling of gold package versus normal season ticket holders, Thursday night might not have been the best time to be like, let's give this to the Milwaukee fan base. You got to drive up here. The game's going to end at 10:30, almost 11 o'clock. They're going to have to drive back to Milwaukee. They might have to work the next day. Should have probably kept that one locally.
Agreed. Dave, we're approaching half an hour, and I don't know what else we had to sort of pick apart for this loss. I try to keep the glass half full, but I think we sort of went over.
I'm on an hour of sleep. I'm gonna crash your earpiece, and then I'm gonna contemplate why I drove 4.5 hours to watch that on my 4.5 hour drive on the way home tomorrow.
At least you didn't leave at halftime.
Thought never crossed my mind.
Well, you're at least one step above the last guest through the Titletown Flats.
All right. Well, thanks for hosting the show. Thanks for hosting me. We didn't enjoy the outcome, but we enjoyed each other's company. So that's all we can say. That's positive for this night.
Yeah, we predicted a loss. I mean, so everything else is gravy on top, I suppose.
Would have liked to get a couple more cheers in versus jeers, but there's next week.
Very true. Very true.
All right, Packers fans. Some of you probably went to bed early. Hardcore fans stayed up late. We enjoy you watching us. Sorry you didn't enjoy the outcome. We'll get them back next week. This is a learning curve. It's a long road ahead, long season. This is going to be kind of building block stuff.
Might bump to end it.
Cheers, guys.
Don't stay up too late.